I was teaching one of my students. He pointed out one of the girls, this little white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl. She's like, "That's my girlfriend." I was like, "Oh yeah?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I would never date a black girl." And you know us girls.
I was all three of us.
Yeah,
like,
I was like, they're teaching in separate corners, and we're all like, "What?"
You forgot to mention, this boy is mixed himself.
Yeah. So I was like, well, he needs to validate this statement that he just made. That was pretty brash and bold. And I was like, young man, why would you? And he's like, first of all, they loud. I was like, he's like, they think they bougie and they're annoying and they ugly.
But to me, the fact that a child would even say that shows that somehow there is this mentality. Like, I'm not saying even majority of black men feel like that.
And statistically speaking, the rates of interracial marriage, like how much they've risen, is like over 100%.
Right?
Yeah, I did look at it
100%.
I believe.
Okay, y'all, so I'm taking my braids down because my hair was wet last night. I had to braid it so it wouldn't mat up, right? But when I first watched this video and the biracial boy first said, "Oh, I would never date a black girl," I was like, okay, because this is my thing. A lot of times I see black people, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's mostly black men, right? I see mostly black men trying to bully mostly biracial women into only dating black men, right? So they'll say things like, "Oh, yeah, if you date black men, then you black. If you don't, then you not, so and so and so," right? Like, it seems very predatory, right? Because it's like, a lot of biracials are longing for acceptance into a community. All they talk about is, "I'm too white for the black kids. I'm too black for the white kids," right? So you take that longing and you use it as leverage, right? They'll sit there and say, "Yeah, if you only date black guys, then you can be black, right? We'll accept you into the community." So again, it feels very like, ooh, right? It feels very targeted. But I've always said this: the only way a biracial can exist is if a black person had a child with a non-black person. Now, clearly, I'm talking about biracials who are half black and half whatever. And in this video, I'm mostly going to be talking about half white, half black biracials, right? But again, clearly, the only way this biracial person could exist is if a black person had a child with a non-black person, right? So you telling me that you don't even hold black people to the same standard that you hold biracials to. So a black person can go have children with non-black people, but a non-black person can't date and have children with non-black people. Like, that doesn't even make any sense, right? And then it's like you sitting here telling a biracial they can only date black people, but you're trying to date a biracial, which is a non-black person. So again, that doesn't make any sense, okay? So again, when the little biracial boy initially said, "Oh, I would never date a black girl," I was like, whatever, because as somebody who's half black and half white, you're just as white as you are black. So, I mean, it makes just as much sense to date white people as it does to date black people, like, right? But then he went on to say, "Oh, they're loud, they're so-and-so, they think they're bougie." And it was like, okay, yeah, clearly he was taught this, and we know exactly who he was taught this by. Yeah, let's get right into this. Now, first of all, I gotta say, most of the comments were absolutely checking his behavior. The black men were commenting like, "Oh no, like when my brothers say something like this, yeah, I get them together." And the black women were commenting like, "It's so sad that, any black girl who goes to school with him is gonna have to carry this on her shoulders," right? But there was one comment, okay, and this person had a picture of a black man as his profile picture, but I'm not gonna hold y'all. The picture gave white energy. And let me explain what I mean, let me explain what I mean, because the picture was clearly of an unambiguous black man, right? But y'all know how white people will take pictures of black people and turn them into memes and stuff? That's what the picture was giving, right? Like, if you see a profile, like, look at my YouTube profile picture, right? That doesn't look like a meme. It's not giving white energy, okay? And even if I was posing with some Sperry's on and a White Claw, it still wouldn't give the type of white energy that I'm talking about, okay? Like, this profile picture gave like that meme energy. When white people just make a black person their profile picture, that's what that profile picture gave me, right? But this person commented talking about, "Oh yeah, this boy is probably observing his mother's behaviors and drawing these conclusions about them," right? And this was so obviously a pathetic attempt at blaming black women for this anti-black woman rhetoric, right? And it was pathetic also because clearly the people in this video have American accents. It's safe to assume this situation happened in America, right? And in America, most black-white biracials have a black dad and a white mom. They don't have black moms for the most part, right? And it's way more likely, right, that a black dad and a white mom instilled this crap in their mixed child than a black mom and a white dad. Why would a black mom sit there and tell her biracial child, oh, black women are angry, black women are this, black women are so-and-so? That doesn't make any sense. She wouldn't say those things about herself, right? But a black man who is self-hating and is seeking out Becky's clearly, and a white woman who can't stand black women, right? Yeah, it seems more likely that this sort of rhetoric will come from that pairing. Now, this is the thing. All of the comments were talking about this as a black-white issue. They were saying, oh, the black girls are going to be affected, and oh, I check my black brothers when I hear stuff like this. I never tell my black son to say something like this, right? But nobody addressed the fact that the boy in the video was not black. He was biracial, right? Now, something I've said on YouTube before, and this hurts some feelings, is the fact that, one, biracials are not black. And because they're not black, they can oppress black people, right? They definitely can. And this is something that's very hard to grapple with because, biracials are half black. So they like to think, I'm half black, so how can I oppress black people? Well, half black ain't black, first of all, right? But then also, you have to be especially aware of this, one, when your mother is non-black. And I'm saying that because mothers do the primary child rearing in every culture, right? In every culture, for the most part, mothers raise the child, okay? So if your mother is white and your dad is a self-hating black man, then, what can you expect to learn? Like, what you really think you're going to learn from white people? Aside from, making mom's string bean casserole for Tuesday night dinner, you're going to learn some racism and some anti-blackness from white people. Absolutely. You are half white, right? And you grow up with a white mama and surrounded by a white family. Because again, you'll notice this with any culture, with black people of all backgrounds, with Asian people, with whoever. Moms do the primary child rearing, right? You're going to spend more time around your mama's family most of the time. That's just most cases. Now, somebody finna comment, oh, well, I always was around my daddy family. I grew up around my daddy. Good for you. But anyway, in general, most people, right? First of all, most people with single parents are raised by a woman, okay? And then even in two-parent households, again, mothers do the primary child raising, okay? So you grown up with a white mama surrounded by white people, and it's like, come on now, right? Now, this is my thing. Because a lot of the biracials are going to get into their little argument. They always arguing about, black mom versus white mom biracial. First of all, none of y'all are black. Let's nip that in the bud right now, okay? But yes, there are differences in how a white woman would raise her child and what things she would instill in that child versus how a black woman will raise her child and what she'd instill in that child, right? But do not think for a second that if you are a biracial with a black mother, you cannot be anti-black, because a lot of these black women are self-hating and be talking about, oh, yeah, I wish I had good hair. And then they have a biracial child who has non-black hair and they would instill these things in them. Oh, you got good hair. Girls might be jealous of you because so-and-so, right? So do not think for a second that because you got a black mama that you off the hook, because you're not. You're absolutely not, buddy. Now, I would like to point something hilarious out really quickly, right? So this little biracial boy, he says, oh, yeah, I'm dating Becky, right? And instead of saying, oh, I'm dating Becky because she's pretty and she's smart and she's so funny and yada, 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 no. He says, I'm dating Becky. I would never date a black girl because they're loud and ghetto and so. And it's like, hold up, y'all. Put yourselves in Becky's shoes for a second, right? Imagine you dating a guy, right? And you ask him, oh, what do you like about me? And instead of him saying, oh, I like how you make me feel, I like, so. Instead, he's like, well, Amber is ugly and loud and so. And it's like, well, I didn't ask about Amber. I didn't ask what you dislike about Amber. I asked what you like about me. Would that not be a serious red flag? That would be a huge red flag. And it's funny because 99% of the time, whether the guy is black or biracial, if he's dating white women, right, he can never tell you what he likes about white women. It's always what he dislikes about black women. Then nobody asked you that. Nobody asked you that, right? Nobody asked you that. But that's what you're hyper-focused on. That's how you know with these people that it's not actually about white women being better or whatever. Because, I mean, first of all, just duh, that's not the case, right? But my point is, what I'm saying is, clearly they don't even believe that. If they believe that, then they'd be able to come up with a single positive thing about white women. But they never can. They always hollering and screaming about all the negatives about black women. So it's like, it's not even about you actually liking white women. It's just about the fact that you hate blackness, right? And you project that onto black women specifically because you don't want to acknowledge the fact that you hate your damn self, okay? It's hilarious, actually, right? And then after you point this out, then they'll try to be like, oh, well, white women is submissive, so and so. Why you ain't say that to begin with? Why you start yapping about how black women is so and so and so and yada, yada, yada? You know, the funny thing is black men today will say, oh, yeah, black women today, they be twerking and dressing all raunchy and so and so. So we need to get back to when black women was all classy and stuff. But let's go back to the 1960s, 50s, 40s. Y'all niggas was doing the same exact shit. Like, literally, I forget who it was. It was some black celebrities, oh my God, who were alive back in that time. And they were going through the same exact thing. Like, the guy didn't want to date the woman because she was black and she'd be bad for his career. Quite literally. Like, it was a couple instances of this just off the top of my head, right? But again, even back then, when the women was classy and this and that, you know, the stuff that black men say black women are not anymore, you niggas was still doing this. You niggas was still doing this. So, like, what's really the issue here? Oh, the issue is you. And I'm not going to hold you. You niggas that do this usually be the ones who be like, oh yeah, white supremacy disproportionately affects black men. We got it worse than black women, so and so and so. So your solution to that issue is to try your best to become a part of white society, to get with a white woman and have half white kids and so and so and so. And that really points something out. A lot of people don't have an issue with oppression. They have an issue with the fact that they are the oppressed ones, okay? So with black people, they don't really have an issue with white supremacy as long as they can try to perpetuate it against other black people and be exempt from it themselves. And honestly, you know what? I'm going to drop the mic right there. Y'all can just think on that.